Today we will be discussing about career-oriented course and what are the skill set required for a mechanical engineer to sustain in the industry. As a mechanical engineer, every person will think of his career to have a quick start, but because of lacking of basic skills, he cannot able to sustain in the present scenarios. So to overcome this one, here I am trying to prepare some kind of a skill set as well as some free sources which are available to sustain in the industry. Let's welcome. As a mechanical graduate, he has to go under the three phases of his curriculum like thermal engineering, design engineering, and in a broad set of manufacturing. Here the most important thing is graduate need mathematics and fundamentals of engineering principles by pursuing his or her graduate degree in the field of mechanical engineering. And here the most important thing is graduate required some kind of a skill. What type of a skill? Whether it may be a workshop skill or whether it may be a modeling skill or whether it may be an experimental skill, like that skill set is required. And second important thing is the core knowledge. So whether it may be a thermal, the transfer of the heat, how it is going to be takes place, whether it is a design, and whether it is in the case of a manufacturing, how sustainably he has to manufacture the product into the market. And the last most important thing is the creativity knowledge. So most of the engineers require skill, core and creativity as their prerequisite. What are the basic skill sets required for a mechanical engineer? So drafting is one of the most important skills where he has to interrupt this skill with the other manufacturers. Next, modeling, and of course it's in the modeling it is also have geometrical dimensioning and tolerance, then engineering simulations, then programming and computational engineering, then robotics, of course the emerging technologies like additive manufacturing, and the knowledge of finite element method is also an added advantage for the mechanical engineers. So today in this video I will be very carefully discussing about what are the various kinds of skill sets needed for a mechanical engineer. Among these skill sets, as well as the career opportunities and what are the free resources which are available in the internet to make use by the mechanical engineers especially. So where to learn this online course? That is a biggest challenge. So NPTEL and Swayam, one of the two platforms are available in the India. Next, edX is one of the platform which is available. Next, Coursera, Udemy platform, Skillshare and so on. There are multiple number of platforms. I am listing only few here. So one by one, drafting. So drafting or drawing composes of various drawings that visually communicates how something functions or working. In engineering, ideas are converted into real components. So an engineer needs to visualize the product and engineer needs to communicate with the other teams in the process development of the product. To make the drawings easily understand, many of the engineers used symbols, dimensions, units of measurements, various perspectives, notations, etc. There are methods for draftings like sketching, instrument and by CAD. So what are the sources, free sources which are available? One among them is CAD Tutor. CAD Tutor tutorials are originally specially designed to get you working with AutoCAD and other applications as knowledgeable as possible. Version-wise training videos are available at this site for free of cost. Another platform is Udemy, where multiple tutors are going to be offered this particular AutoCAD in various versions. And here AutoCAD is the one of the mostly important tool which is used in the industry, especially for the drafting. And here Autodesk, the company which won the AutoCAD, is also providing the education to the students, as well as it is also supporting to download the software for the academic usage. If you are a student or if you are a faculty, you can download the software by registering into the website, and then you can install it, and then by seeing this Autodesk University you can able to learn some practicing videos also. Next skill set is modeling. So in the modeling, CAD modeling can be used for 2D drawings or 3D modeling of components, from conceptual design to the assembly of these components. CAD uses basically curves, figures in 2D space or curved surfaces in 3D space to generate an output in the form of an electronic files for printing, matching and other manufacturing operations. Better quality design, where a CAD software also check the existing errors in a design so that the errors can be removed before the final design, since it is going to be stored in an electronic file, and the design quality will not get any compromise. Next, design flexibility is all about where the engineer makes the design of product. There may be errors in the design. In order to remove these design errors, CAD tools provide the flexibility in changing a design easily. One more important thing is cost optimization, where engineers need to make every design from the scratch, even for a minor modification. And the last important thing is a visualization. So visualization of 3D CAD tools provide the mechanical component design in 3D. These designs can be animated to help the designers or clients by observing the detailed working of this particular components. Basically, industry required some kinds of skills from the mechanical engineering graduates after completing their graduate degrees. So what are that skill set? Interpret and execute correct drawing and procedure sketch, where the interviewer is going to test the graduate by observing his skills onto the software. Like the interviewer, he will try to give some drawing and the graduate has to interrupt and execute the current drawing by properly illustrating and arranging the components to train that particular system. Interpreting technical information related to the materials and manufacturing process also, this CAD is also going to be used. And here there are some popular softwares called as a Siemens NX, PTC Creo, Autodesk Inventor, SolidWorks and Dassault Systems CATIA. And here you can see about this image where 28% of the users are from Autodesk, because Autodesk is having various kinds of 3D modeling and 2D drafting also. Apart from that Autodesk, we can see SolidWorks, which is having 26% and CATIA, which is having 23% of stage, and we can see 10% of PTC products also, that Creo also. So the use of various kinds of software tools is very essential in the mechanical industries. And here you can see some of the companies in India which are going to use the SolidWorks, like we can see L&T, Bharat Electronics, DRDO, Kennametal, TCS, Jindal. Various companies are going to use here. Apart from that one, Siemens is also going to be used by various companies in aerospace, defense, automotive and transportation, machinery and industrial equipment. So this will give some glimpses how the career opportunities are also going to be takes place once we learn the skill set of modeling and we are graduating as a mechanical engineer. And next, Udemy is one of the platform which is going to offer Siemens solid edge sketching fundamentals, and here this is going to be start from the scratch with the drawing lines and trimming options, manipulating constraints, creating a pentagon mask, scaffold designs, as well as many quizzes also. And next is the fundamentals of SolidWorks. This is also going to be offered by Udemy for free of cost. You can go and search it in the internet. Next, engineering simulations. So engineering simulations, what is meant by an engineering simulation? See, whenever we are going to design a product or whenever we are going to have a model with us, we need to test that product. If we test that product, we need to have large amount of manufacturing cost. So instead of that one, we will go for some kind of a simulation which is going to provide free machinery of risk in an efficient way. as well as it increases the reliability of the product, because once we are getting any trouble in the simulation system, we can able to change the system with a free of cost. Next, it is going to take place with fluid dynamics, bending analysis, and various kinds of drive simulations also. And here, what are the engineering simulation software requirements? It requires some kind of a model, and it requires some kind of a preprocessor, and it requires some kind of a post-processor. So model is nothing but the actual view of the product. Preprocessor means what are the basic things which I have to give for the input, like I need to give some kind of a support, I need to give some kind of a motion for the system, and post process is the thing which it is going to execute in the thing, means where I have to apply the force, where the most stress concentrations will be there. So these things and all will be seen in the post processor. And here there are a couple of softwares like ANSYS Academic is there, ANSOA is there, Dassault System Simula is there, HyperWorks is there, which is talking about the meshing software, MSc software is there, ADAMS, it is particularly multi-body dynamic simulation software is there, and MSc is also offering Nastron and Patron softwares. So these are all the various kinds of simulation softwares which are available in the market. So depending upon the industrial requirements, one mechanical graduate has to learn, because HyperWorks is particularly used for meshing, and ANSOA is particularly used for meshing only, and ADAMS is particularly used for multi-body dynamic analysis only. So like that, it is specific depending upon his case study, it will be very, very specific. And here for the ANSYS, EDX is offering one of the beautiful course called as a hands-on introduction to engineering simulations, which is going to be supported with ANSYS Corporation from Cornell University. Dr. Rajesh Bhaskaran is going to head this course, and it consisting of various kinds of fluid dynamic simulations, structural mechanics, mathematical models underlying the simulations. And here the most important thing is ANSYS is giving 1 year free subscription for the students to download their software from their website and can practice this particular course. Already this course has been started in the month of February. Now it's the time to enroll. So far 8,000 people has been enrolled. Couple of these courses has already learned. You can see the number also here. 1 lakh people has already enrolled in this particular course. This course is having high demand in this particular platform. And next one is computational engineering. So computational engineering talks about basically the models and the simulation, like some kind of problematics are there. In the case of a fluid mechanics and hydraulic machineries, I need to estimate the flow, I need to get some kind of an equation. Okay, in the aerospace, how that aerostructure design I need to be manufactured. So it requires some kind of a mathematics involved in this one. For that kind of mathematics solvations, we require some kind of a computational engineering softwares. Okay, and here combustion simulations are there, structural dynamics are there, trajectory calculations of the satellites are there. All the things are related with large amount of computations, where it is impossible to do it with the hand because it takes lot amount of time. So in this case, we have to introduce some kind of software to process it, and in that software we are going to generate some kind of mathematical equations, and then we are going to solve. And here COMSOL is one of the best software for modeling of the fluid structure, and the knowledge of finite element analysis is more important in the case of computational engineering. And among that computational engineering, MATLAB is one of the software which we can able to use it. Here Coursera is one of the platform which is offering MATLAB for free. Okay, and Vanderbilt University Professor Oxos and Mike are the tutors of this particular course, and you can enroll this course for free because the enrollment has already started on April 13th. They basically talks about MATLAB environment, matrices, functions, toolbox, and what are the various kinds of data types. And these instructors, they will give some kind of assessment also. Here if you can observe, you can see the ratings of this particular program. It is having 4.8 for 5-star. And what are the other computational softwares which are available, like computational fluid dynamics is available, CFD, Fluent. Apart from that one, we are having OpenFOAM also, one of the open source software for these kinds of computational cases. And the next one is robotics. As we hear, this robotics is one of the emerging field. So how a mechanical engineer is going to be take place his career in the robotics? So design operations and applications of various robots. So he need to know about the kinematics, dynamics. The engineer, the robotics engineer, he has to design a robot, or he has to develop a robot for the so and so application in the manufacturing industries, as well as mechanics, material engineering and manufacturing are basic to understand how these robots are going to be work. And the most important thing is using of right sensors for various industrial applications. See here, the knowledge of robotics is more important to use the right sensor for a robot, and it is also used for emphasizing the meaningful problem learning. So a problem is arised in the industry, so depending upon that problem, how a robotics is going to be helped, because that problem will tries to solve large amount of money by introducing the automation and robotics into the manufacturing industries. And physical design, so whether it is a humanoid robot, or whether it is a manipulator, or it is a moving base, so that depends upon how much amount of important that particular application is. And here NPTEL Swayam is offering one of the best courses, and IIT Bombay Professor Gandhi is offering this course, Introduction to Robotics. Okay, and apart from that one, IIT Khargapur, Professor Dilip Pataria is also offering a course of Introduction to Robots and Robotics. Apart from this one, you can able to see large amount of resources which are available in the robotics. See, the basic things what we have to learn from the robotics is the robotic kinematics, the robotic structure, the robotic dynamics, and how the robot is going to have a trajectory planning, motion planning, and how the sensors are going to be integrated with respect to the robot. Apart from that one, robot operating system ROS is also having some kind of open source software where we can work remotely, try to like freely we can able to download that kind of a software, and then we can able to work out with these softwares. And this robotics is listed by AICT in a model curriculum. AICT has listed a model curriculum. Among the 10 courses are available. Among that, robotics is one of the course where the mechanical engineers are very well on this particular course. Next one is a 3D printing. It is also called as additive manufacturing. So instead of wasting large amount of scrap, additive manufacturing will reduce those scraps. So the planning and manufacturing of a new products. Among that, the famous manufacturing technique is process of additive manufacturing technique is fusion deposition modeling. So where large amount of machines are purely depending upon this fusion deposition modeling techniques only. Here what we are going to be do, we are going to be create some kind of a prototype, and we are going to create some kind of a product test. So depending upon this product test, we are going to estimate how that particular product is going to be working in a real-time scenario. Depending upon this one, the manufacturer is going to choose his material or modeling technique or other criteria. And what are the skill sets a mechanical engineer has to be learned to make his career into the additive manufacturing? So the first thing is he has to learn the modeling skills, how to process the CAD data, how to process the stereolithography files, are popularly called as STL files. Apart from that one, he needs to know the knowledge of slicing of CAD data, and then various kinds of image processings, because nowadays 3D printing is very emerging in the phase of medical fields also. So how that a tumor is going to be detected in a human body, how that human body tumor is going to be image processed, and then he has to develop a CAD model or some kind of limbs he has to manufacture. So that limbs they need to collect the cloud data. So how that scanners are going to be collect the cloud data, and then they are introducing into the CAD model, and from CAD model to the prototype. So these are all the various kinds of skill set which a mechanical engineer has to be learned. So then he can able to shine in the market. And this 3D printing is also a course which has been listed in the AICT model curriculum. What are the softwares, free softwares available? So FreeCAD is one of the free software, Blender is one of the free software, SketchUp, Tinkercad, and 3D Tin. 3D Tin is a web-based GL developer, which is very interesting software to learn. All these are the free sources which are available in the internet. So if you just type the software and some kind of a tutorials you can able to get. Thank you. Have a bright future. Thank you one and all.